Okay, we're gonna do a little video analysis. I have my original Red Ryder BB gun out here. Now, first and foremost, the video we're gonna talk about, I will not put it in the description box. Don't even bother asking me. But I'm gonna run over my Red Ryder BB gun and my history with it, and then we're gonna talk about this video analysis. I'm going to talk in detail about this segment of the video, but it's not going to be in the script. Don't ask me for it, period. I want to be on good terms with these people. Okay. Me and my cousins, my mother's first cousin and her sister, they had a gathering at their house in Yonkers. The sister, my cousin, is a housewife. She has 3 boys. At the time, she had 2 boys. They're 4 and 6 years younger than me at this time. The other boy will be 19 years younger than me in the future. Her husband's a corporate lawyer. They have a nice house in Yonkers, and they have a rental home out in Montauk. This plays into the story. You'll hear about it later. And we have our gathering December 26th, 27th, 28th-ish, and we do our gifts. And I open all my gifts, and then my cousin's husband says, "Look behind the desk." There's another package behind the desk. So I open behind the desk, and there's a Red Ryder BB gun, just like in the movie. And it is the second greatest Christmas gift I ever had in my entire life. Now, there were 3 places I would shoot my Red Ryder BB gun. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did some dry firing in the house, and I imagine a lot of people did that. I would pump the Red Ryder BB gun, make sure it was empty, and then I would use it to shoot Christmas cards, birthday cards at close distance with the air. The air can push out of it. There's no one behind it, and you check to make sure it's unloaded. I imagine a lot of people did that when they were bored. They dry fired it in the house. Obviously, keep away from windows and stuff like that. Now, my father was a sheet metal worker, and he used to run a shop for his boss down in the Bronx. There was a main shop and the little shop. I've never seen the main shop. This is the little shop. Unless you really like Rikers Island, don't bring a BB gun to the Bronx today. This is 25 years ago, okay? So, next to the shop is a dog kennel where these black guys from North Carolina, most of them were from North Carolina, kept their hunting dogs. And these black men came to New York a generation earlier to get away from Jim Crow and the Klan, and they have hunting dogs in a kennel next door. And my father and his men would interact with them. My father and his men would make projects for them, obviously for money. On the side, they make barbecue pits and shit like that for them, trailers for their dogs, stuff like that. And I used to go there and I used to shoot cans and bottles. And it's like a junkyard type area. I didn't shoot where the dogs were, obviously. The dogs were kenneled up over this side. I shot on this side that was like the junkyard area, shot cans and bottles. Now, we did not use safety glasses back then for our BB guns. And that is not something I'm proud of, but I'm going to say it. We did not use safety glasses, and we were wrong. And kids that are watching today, they should learn from that mistake we made. The other place I would shoot will be my cousin's summer house in Montauk. Her husband was a corporate lawyer. She was a housewife. She went up there every chance she got, but in the summertime, she would go there and spend at least 8 or 9 weeks in the summer at that house. And cousins, siblings, friends, her husband's fishing buddies, the in-laws, the uncles, they all used to come hang out. This people come this day, this group will come this day, that group will go that day. Her husband would come from Yonkers on his off days, and he would go with his fishing buddies. His father was also a lawyer at the time. God rest his father's soul. His father and he owned the fishing boat. They keep it on Montauk, even though his father passed away, obviously, but he still maintains it to this day. And we would go to Montauk, and they still have the house, but I haven't been there in years. And me and their oldest son, who was 4 years younger than me, would take our BB guns in the backyard, and there was a area we had. It was a fenced-in area, nice and quiet, where there was nothing behind it. We would shoot BB gun, beer cans, soda cans, shit like that. And then also we would go out on the boat to go fishing. We would drive out into the bay, and it would be, you go out on the boat and you're a couple of miles away, and you can actually see the horizon, and you can stand on the boat and look around and not see anybody for like 5 miles all around. We take the cans, put them on the bow of the boat, shoot up the bow of the boat. A little tricky because the waves are, yeah. Now, if the boat came into view, the second the boat came within any view of us, we immediately put them away and fished or whatever the hell, but we did not. We used to catch tuna. It was a lot of fun back then. I'm going back 20 years ago. Okay. Now, the night I got the BB gun at the house, my cousin by marriage, this cousin's sister's husband. Okay, he's the one. He was in Vietnam. He got the Bronze Star for saving 3 men's lives. He graduated the high school that I would later graduate, although obviously 3 years older than me. Okay, his daughter was the one that had the liver problem and she had the transplant. Okay, yeah. He told me, when you take the BB gun, put it down to cock it. Put it down to cock it. Safety off. I've already dry fired this and checked it. It's fine. Point away. Okay. Put the safety back on. Okay. Now, what we used to do is, I'm not going to cock it again. The stock's a little messed up. We learned that you're out in the middle of nowhere. You're away from the house, away from the porch, away from nothing. There's nothing above you, and we learned it was easier to cock facing up with nothing above us, as long as the muzzle was up. Then we realized, you know what, Andy, his name was Andy. Andy was right. We should cock down or away, or so we learned that we taught ourselves to cock away or cock down. Okay, and that was it. I never pointed my BB gun at anyone, period. Okay, not even if it was empty dry firing it. When I carried it around, I always fired the BB, put it on safety, and carried it like this. Okay, like on my side like that, and it was on safety, and the last BB had been fired. There was no, even if the gun had BBs in it, there was no BB in the pipe. It was not cocked, pumped, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm seeing this video, and a couple people commented on it, and I commented on it. I also sent a PM to the family, and I said, no, I'm not mad at you. My name is Vinny, blah, blah, blah. Try to be professional. They're in a rental house. Lake rental house. And the younger son is shooting his BB gun. Okay? Now, the ground is not 90 degrees. All the ground all over the planet is bent, curved, up, down. There's a slight hill in front of him. And then up that hill, he has a picnic table set up. And that he has the picnic table, the cans and bottles on it. Now, let's focus on him. He takes the gun, cocks it. Safety's on. Finger on the trigger. Towards the house, towards the lake. Okay, his mother is standing next to him, and his mother is talking to him, interacting with him, filming him. There's no question he knows she's there. She's on his right, like on his 4 o'clock. She's at 4 o'clock. He forgets he cocked the gun. He moves it down, cocks it again, muzzle sweeps her face, and takes the safety off. Now, when you're muzzle sweeping someone, do I care that it's a BB gun versus a 500 Magnum? No. When you're muzzle sweeping someone, do I care the safety is on? No. Then he starts to fire. Now up the hill a little bit, like out, there's the picnic bench with the cans and bottles. And beyond that, there's bushes, and the bushes might be about almost my eye level. And the bushes are so thick that you cannot see through them. Do you know what's beyond those bushes? Because I don't. The bushes are so thick in certain areas that you cannot see if there's a kid there, if there's someone sunbathing there, if someone's walking a dog. You cannot see. Also, the way the hail and the elevation and the distance plays out, the house behind the bushes has a sliding glass door on the second floor that goes out to like a balcony or a patio or whatever you want to call it, a porch, whatever you want to call it, whatever your nomenclature is. And when he's aiming this gun, and the camera angle is perfect for this, he aims the gun. Okay, it almost looks as if he's aiming at the sliding glass door. He's not aiming at it, but it almost sort of kind of looks like it does. If you were to walk out the sliding glass door and walk out and see him, it would almost give you the impression he's aiming it at them. Now, it's entirely possible, most likely, he did tell the family he happened to be shooting a BB gun. And I imagine I wouldn't have a problem if the neighbor's kid is going to shoot a BB gun. But me not having a problem with the neighbor's kid shooting a BB gun draws the line where the neighbor's kid is aiming the BB gun at my house. Now, also, from a distance, that's a .22 rifle. To someone that has never seen a gun, doesn't know what a gun is, doesn't like guns, that's an AR-15. Okay? And I made my comment, a couple of people were commenting, some of them kids, by the way. And like, did you just do that? And I was like, yeah, I said, yeah, I told them already, I said my comment, blah, blah, blah. And the comments I sent were professional, but I basically suggested take a couple of big garbage bags, like for the outdoor garbages, fill them up with sand, and take the table and put garbage bag and garbage bag, 2 garbage bags with sand on top of the table, and put the cans and bottles in front of it. Also, there's a tool shed right there. Maybe take the entire assembly and move it a little over so that the tool shed is in the direct background, not the house or the yard or whatever. And also, maybe get a little closer. I don't know if I said closer, but maybe get a little closer. That way it doesn't look like you're aiming at the house when you, okay? Not as difficult from closer, but safer, you know what I mean? And there was a guy, he's like, it's only a baby gun. I doubt it'll hit anything. What do you better do a comment on someone's video? He's got parents, mind you, real friggin' moron guy. And I'm commenting back to the guy, and I'm saying back to the guy, I'm a gun owner. I have an obligation to point out bad behavior when I see it, period. And oh, he has parents, his father's a veteran, his parents don't. I said, really? I said, his mother's standing right next to him, he has parents. And then I said, if his father saw this and told him, fine. If someone in the family gets back to me and says they told him, they said, fine. But right now I have an obligation. Well, watch your own kids. I don't have kids. But I'm like, why don't you mind your own business? And I said, listen, my obligation to point out bad behavior doesn't say anything about who's my kid. It doesn't say anything about who has parents. It doesn't say anything about who's on YouTube. My obligation to point out bad behavior says, if you see bad behavior, say something. Period. Okay? Period. And I also said, I'm afraid that the bad behavior is going to go over to 22s, 9mm, 5.56s. Now, granted, I don't think anybody would fire a 5.56 in the backyard facing a house, but bad behavior is a habit, okay? You've seen Barry and Eric. Obviously, Barry doesn't make videos anymore, but he can go to Eric's channel, he's still there. And they've had their videos, you know, the guy comes in, he wants to either sell porn or have a gun repaired. And he'll hand Barry the gun, and he'll tell Barry the gun is empty. And then as soon as Barry hears the gun is empty, he immediately unloads the magazine, takes the round out of the chamber, and puts the safety on the gun. They've had guys come in and stick a gun at them. Yo, can I pawn this? Finger on the trigger. It's not loaded, really. Eric had a lady, had a 5.7. A 5.7 will penetrate armor. She walked in with a 5.7. Hello, can I, whatever she wanted to do with it, I can't find this video. She points the 5.7 at him, his training kicks in, he disarms her, mag, round, safety. He could have killed him, she could have killed him rather. Okay, they were talking about the range. There was a range they know. You know how you go to the range, you sign with the guy at the desk, the range master sometimes, and then you go on to the range itself. Woman's back there, bang, 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 click. Misfire. Comes outside of the range, opens the door, points at the range master. Excuse me, this is not working. I have to get the phone, please, along. Hello? Yeah. Sorry about that. August 11th. Yeah. Bye. Bye. Sorry. So anyway, and I said, yeah. So I don't want these problems to transgress. And as far as back at the house, I said, okay, try not mother sweep in the house. Try not mother sweep in the, try not mother sweep in mom's face. And now, let's a BB gun. What harm could I do? Okay. When I was a kid, there was a show called Rescue 911. And I'm going back over 20 years ago. Elementary school, okay? It was hosted by William Shatner. It was a documentary / reality show. And the premise was you had actors recreate the scene to the nth degree, and the real people who were really involved with it would talk about the actual thing. Okay, and the actor would be, okay, then I played this out, then went over here, and over there, blah, blah, blah. And it would be fires, heart attacks, car accidents, people, there was one, was a lady, a grandmother was choking on a chicken bone on my birthday. That's the day it happened. Okay, all kinds of problems, okay? People going into labor in the middle of a blizzard, okay, all kinds of problems. And it was to emphasize 911, calling 911, and getting rescued. And in the later episodes, the later seasons, you would see a little kid call 911, and they'd be like, where'd you learn to call 911? He's like, I watched the show. So the later people watched the early episodes, and then they became part of the show themselves. Okay? And like 99.9% of the time, the person lived, thank God. But there were a couple that didn't live. Now, there was this guy who was maybe 16, 17. He's probably in his 40s now. He's in his backyard. He's cleaning out under the houses, and he finds his old BB gun that's been back there for 10 years, and it's empty. It's unloaded. Okay. He goes in the house and he starts using the air out of the unloaded gun to shoot flies. He must have a lot of flies in the house. Window is open. Screen is closed. He points the gun, unloaded, at the screen and shoots the fly with the air. There are some boys playing across the street. The pellet that was lodged in the gun for 10 years and he didn't know about it, suddenly lodged through and flew and hit him in the chest. This is one of these little kids. They got his mother, his grandmother. Mother and grandmother put him in the car because it was faster that way because they wanted to wait for the ambulance. Drove him down the block to the firehouse. The firemen took him in. They got him stabilized. They brought him to the hospital. They go in his chest. All the boys, they apologized. They actually became friends. Wait 1 second. Forgot something. Okay, remember Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade when he says dad we're well out of the range and the rock and the shell comes and hits the car behind him. I know you've seen that spoofed a million times in TV shows and cartoons and movies. It was a Civil War officer. I look it up now on YouTube. Watch Mojo. It was a Civil War officer named John Sedgwick. He told his men they couldn't hit an elephant at this distance. And the second after he said it, he was shot and killed right then and there. Okay, so I don't want to hear any of this bullshit, and that's what it is. It's bullshit about they couldn't hit an elephant at this distance, or they could, or you're well out of range, or it's not going to do that much damage. Now, I went on Daisy's website because I was looking. What is the range on this thing? And I'm looking at video. I was looking at penetration. But what is the range? So I go to Daisy's official website and I look for this particular model, which is still in production. Okay, what is the range of this particular air rifle? Who's ready? 195 yards. That means I could stand at the goalpost of a football field in an NFL stadium. You can stand at the other goalpost and I can still reach you. How much damage will it do? You want to find out? Now, I have an uncle, he's 15 years older than me. Now, I was at Montauk with my cousin shooting, and the BB gun was loaded, and my parents said, okay, we gotta go, let's get out of here. Put it back in the box, loaded, put it in the car, drove it home, put it back in the closet, loaded. Sometime later, maybe a week or two later, a month later, I said, you know what, take it out and empty it. Open the port, okay, dump it out into like a can or a bucket or whatever. Keep dumping it, keep dumping it, keep dumping it, and fire it a couple of times in the mattress or some shit to make sure it's empty. Okay. My uncle was 15 years older than me. He was in between residents. He was in between residents at the time. He was going to have his own apartment, and in the meantime, he was staying with us, my parents, until he had his own apartment set up. And okay, and he's in the apartment with my mother. He's in the bed with my mother. My mother is clean, making her bed, and as my mother's making her bed, she mentions I have a BB gun. Let me see your gun, Benny. Remember I emptied it when I got back from Montauk? Takes the gun. He's right-handed, I'm not. Takes the gun. You ready? My mother. I should have said something the minute he cocked it. That's what he looked like. And I was 11 at the time, maybe. My mother was walking past the muzzle of that gun, and her head was 2 feet away from it when that happened. But it was empty, thank God. Okay? I snatched it out of his hand like that. Like that. That's how fast I snatched it up. That was about 23, 24 years ago. He still hasn't touched it. And he sure as fuck ain't going near the real ones. So the problem is, if you see bad behavior, you call it out, period. I don't care if it's on YouTube, I don't care if it's in real life. And Barry and Eric actually said one time, if you're 11 years old and you're on the range and you see an adult doing something wrong, call them out on it. Okay? And I said to this guy in these comments that was, come on, not a big deal, man. Go find something else to do. I said, okay, I want to save the kid a lawsuit, or worse yet, a police report. Because if one of those pellets hits a car or the house, he's going to have to at least pay for the damages. If not, his parents will be sued. If the pellet hits a person because the bushes are in the way and he doesn't know what's beyond them and the range is 195 yards, guess what's going to happen to him? He's going to end up in juvenile court. The judge is going to put him under house arrest, which means house arrest means you have to stay home and you can't go anywhere except school, hospital, or work. That's it. And the judge is going to put him under house arrest and give his family a big ass fine. It is so much better to find out ahead of time, oh, that's right, damn, I should do something different, than to find out when it's too late. Okay? So you call it out, period. Thank you.